What's up, everybody? How's it going? It's Two Scoops live with Brandon and
Alexis. We're back, y'all. We're back.
So I'm glad that we got that though.
What, me starting off trying to do a TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, what would it have been?
What would it have been?
Yeah, what was your creative process right there?
It would have just probably been just me just looking pretty.
You just
with
caught
a song
moment
in the background.
with you just catch the right song.
Yeah. Like there's trending sounds all the time on TikTok. So.
See, that's what you went to school for. I did not.
I didn't go to school to see what sounds are trending on TikTok.
At least to monitor them, maybe not to see, but to monitor them. No.
No.
Okay. I feel like we still carried over some little. Oh, here we go.
What?
This is the infinite application.
I'm just putting on my lip gloss, guys. Brandon has a fucking issue every time I put on some lip gloss.
It's every 10 minutes.
Bad habit. Okay.
That's what we're gonna.
And that's our segue into this episode.
It's the life habits, right? The bad habits.
The
life
bad
habits,
life habits, just life habits in general.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Following the post life. What is it? Secret life crisis. The silent life crisis.
Quarter life
crisis.
Quarter.
We're going. These are too heavy.
I know we got some heavy ass topics.
Like we're straight from the quarter life crisis into the bad habits. You could tell that we.
Okay, it's not necessarily just bad habits; it's life habits because some of them can probably be deemed as bad, some of them not so much.
You know that's where we're gonna harp on though.
Yeah, we are definitely gonna.
Like you're
I know. I just don't want to get
try to cut into.
I don't really want to get into it.
Just so everyone knows.
I'm a little nervous about this episode.
Oh, don't get no. Keep that same energy. What are you talking about? You said you were about to cut into me.
Well, I mean, I am, but I know I'm nervous for how you're gonna cut into me.
I'm not. When have I ever cut into you? I'm not here.
That's the whole point of this podcast is for us
to cut into you.
No, I know, but
we acknowledge some things.
We are going to be acknowledging some things in this episode that, are things that I don't, I talk about often, but I don't really like to try and
I'll
compartmentalize.
I'll pop off for today. I have a bad habit. I still game. I've gamed at 31. I log on a game. So, but for whatever
Ladies,
reason,
you hear that out there?
Yeah, I game. I've gamed. I game not every day. It's not habitual. I enjoy a game or two,
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, but.
So you would say that that's your worst?
I would say
life habit.
Wholeheartedly, yeah. If we're talking about most recently, the one thing in my life that if I was New Year's resolution with what am I trying to cut off? You know what I mean? The worst thing about me or my life that I could pinpoint, I would say, other than my receding hairline, is that I game from time to time, honestly. I will turn on the game. I try to monitor it. I would like to regulate it. I don't let it commandeer my life.
But why do you game? We were just talking about this before the episode started, and it's what? Because, I had made a comment saying that I have never picked up a video game in my entire life, which obviously is a lie. I obviously have. I've played Mario Kart. I used to have a Wii when I was a kid. I dabbled in the Just Dance. Don't even play.
You touched the Just Dance. That you were gaming.
I wasn't gaming though. It was something that I would do with my friends every once in a while, or something that I would do with, my sister on a random Saturday night, when I was 12. Not 12, sorry. That's a little older. I wasn't really doing.
People game at 12,
but anyways, yeah, no, that's fine. But it's just I don't know. I understood it those types of games because those for me were interactive. I was doing it with my friends. I was getting a workout. You know what I mean? Whereas gaming for when you think of gaming nowadays, it's some dude's just sitting in a chair with 4 monitors in front of them and this big headset on.
Sometimes you see those.
Yo, what's up, guys? Okay, so we're about to land here and launch and drop. Really? That? You know what I mean?
Communicative skills.
If you're going to sit here and try and say that video games help better communication skills, then I'm going to literally have to exit the building because I studied communications at college. And I can tell you right now that gaming is not an effective way to communicate with one another.
The lobby, though, the party chat.
No, I don't want to hear anything about the lobby, because I was talking to some of my guy friends about this week's episode, and I was telling them that we were going to touch on gaming, and a lot of them game, and they were like, like it is a way for us to like chat and like talk about the day. And I'm like, but are you really? So you're all logging on to like whatever it is. Like, yo, what's good, guys? How's your day? How's everybody feeling? You guys aren't talking about that. You're literally probably just bullshitting.
That's BS though. Half the time, at least as a 30-year-old man, a 31-year-old man, whatever you want to come at me, whatever. When I log on and I go into a lobby, like chances are half the time I'm spent just idling, talking to my friends about their day or what's going on with them.
I see. I find that very hard to believe, but whatever.
I mean, you're playing the game in the background. It's going on, obviously. Like it's no different than watching TV and scrolling. Literally, the simplest sense.
I know, but I try not to do that. It's
watching TV and scrolling.
I try not.
You've watched a movie and been on your phone.
No.
Are you?
I mean, yes, I have, but like I try not to because it's like.
What? That's what being in the lobby. That's what being in the party chat and playing the game is.
I don't know. It's just like But again, you still didn't answer my question.
Why'd you give me the ick face?
Because it's like you still didn't answer.
Why'd you give me the ick face? What question?
Like, why? What's the point of it? You said release, but like, I don't necessarily.
It's like, okay, for an hour or two, I don't have to think about anything other than like what's going on with these people. You could do the same thing with just
like watching a movie though.
Yeah, but I don't know, someone like me, an individual, I have every single hour of my day prioritized to something. So if I'm like, for these 2 hours of the day, like I don't want to think or do anything, or maybe I want to contribute them to like the people that I care about, and that's how I choose to like interact with them or like see how they are going, like to touch base with them or catch up with them, then so be it, because they're doing similar things. People can say you can call, you can do this, but it's not always the most convenient time. It's at least I know that these guys are there at this time, at this moment, that I could just log on. I could hop in the party chat for whatever. If it's a good day or a bad day, I'm there for longer, or less time. So I just not like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think people just imagine it as like, you're just vegging in a corner. And it's just
that is how I see it, because I lived with 3 guys in college, and there was many a times where I would literally go upstairs and all 3 of them would be playing different video games.
Vegging in a corner.
Yeah, vegging in the corner.
But then what are you doing when you're sitting in your bed scrolling? Other than vegging in a corner.
Because I'm not doing that until like the end of the night. Like I'm not doing that.
What's the difference of screen time when you go to bed at 10:30?
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, but so like let's talk about that, because we were talking about screen times. Video games are not calculated into screen time. So if like we're gonna add that into it, then like that's a whole another probably 4 hours that you could add on to that, Brandon, for your screen time. Because how long do you think you sit and game every night when you go home?
Every night? I don't even game every night.
Oh, you don't every night?
No.
Why? You said it was a form of release.
Yeah, because some days are socialized. Some days are like, I only have that set amount of time every day.
But do you think that these conversations that you're having with your friends in quote unquote the party lobby are productive conversations? No.
What? Who's to say? I've come up off those conversations. I have literally made investments off those conversations.
What do you mean you've made investments off those conversations? Saying, like, what the hell? No, you need to go off on that, because what does that even mean?
Well, like I wasn't even like privy to the meme stock shit that was going on when you can make a quick buck or two just off of like following what was trending for like a hot minute. Like regardless, not like I put a whole life savings in it, but like me and my friends literally were able to make like a couple $1,200 like off of nothing, just off of like being able to communicate. Like, and say like, yeah, did you know that this was popping off for like this moment and that it's going to happen on this day? And you follow a trend for 6 weeks and it was easy, fast money. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it was the best. I'm not saying it's the best source, but there's also like a lot of other different developments that I've like carried on through life, like rather than just quick money. You know what I mean? Whether it's like relationships or like
I don't know.
family or friends and seeing how they're doing, like helping them with different situations, being able to
You think you're gaining, you think that you learn that from video games? Like, you know how to like be with your peers from video games?
You're communicating on a regular basis
with someone who has a different view. You can do that like through a phone call. Like, it don't gotta be like on the microphone, like at McDonald's. Hi, how can I help you? What can I get for your order?
How many times do people actually take in other, and whatever, an exterior opinion. Not many. Like, you just have like your core group of people that you talk to that just affirm you all of the time. So
I mean, yeah, but it's
the
like
people that I surround myself.
but it's
are
like
just
look,
not,
it's like this is how I look at it. It's like you're talking with all these friends, and then you're literally like creating this alternate universe with them. Like, I don't know. It
No.
just seems like weird. It seems weird, and I don't understand the whole fascination behind it. I seriously, and no offense, but I seriously do not understand how like these people do streams and they get so much money from just sitting there and gaming. Gaming requires no talent. And I might be wrong, and people, oh God, I just struck one there. But I might be wrong, but that's my opinion. What talent does gaming actually take? You can't even come up with an answer. You're just sitting there laughing.
I just feel
Because
like
you
that's just-
can't.
because you're not like, how am I gonna argue
no.
something that you won't even consider? Like, I can't even
bring
argue
it up.
something.
This is the whole
but,
point
like,
of this, is for us to be able to understand it, because I don't understand it. I literally think that it's like you said, I do think of it like how people could see it as a release, like coming home at the end of the day and just like kind of playing something and doing something instead of scrolling. However,
there's levels to everything. Just
I
like
understand
just like
that.
anything in life, there's levels to everything, right? Like, so to say that like gaming doesn't take skill to game, that would just be silly, because just like anything in life, there's levels
maybe
to
I
it.
put it wrong. I think that it
people are
probably does
making-
take skill, but I don't think for
you
like
necessarily have to have skill to be a streamer to make money in that
but
sense,
also
right?
like make the amount of money that these people make on the streams is quite literally insane.
But is that no different than what athletes make? Like, come on, like really.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but an athlete like a
They're
NFL
playing a
player or an
children's
NBA
game.
player
They're playing
or
a
even a
child's game
WNBA player
as an adult and
Oh my
getting
God.
paid tens of millions of dollars to do it. I don't care what anyone
Look,
says. They're playing a child's game
at
as
the
an
level
adult and
at
getting
the
paid,
level of which they play, it's a completely different
regardless
scenario.
of it. So society set that precedent. Like, no, I didn't set that precedent. Society set
But
that
sports
precedent.
brings like, and I'm not
Boy.
even the biggest sports person, but sports at least it's like bringing people together.
My
It's a whole
intramural
community.
volleyball
Oh my
league
God.
brings people together as well. Like, I just want everyone to know, the intramural volleyball league, that flag football, that extreme frisbee that you're doing, like, it's bringing people together. The point
I'm not
being is, it's like,
discrediting that. I'm not
Okay.
just, but I'm just saying, like,
saying
I think
athletes
that
there's no difference from. I'm gonna be the one controversial. There's no difference from an athlete to a video gamer who makes
oh
money,
my
or a
God,
streamer
yes,
makes
there
money.
is,
Zero.
and I'm sorry
Zero.
for people that agree
I
with
don't
Brandon
care.
on that standpoint, because
Zero
no.
difference. There's zero difference. I don't care how much you dedicate your life to one thing. I don't care about your
Brandon,
drive and
are you
determination.
serious?
I don't care about whatever the fuck you think that is like bringing you home today at God. Like, if there is no difference from someone who plays basketball, football, soccer, or whatever to a video gamer who gets paid at the same level of professionalism. Like, I'm saying, like, when you reach that level.
Okay, if we're talking
of,
about
like,
money,
there's
yeah,
no-
whatever,
there's
that's
no
different. If
difference.
we're
If we're talking
about
like finance, that level. We're talking
finance,
about the
yeah.
professional
Okay,
level, the
we're
skill
not,
level.
Okay, we're not talking
like
about that
skill
anymore,
level.
though. Okay, finance, whatever. That's a completely different
Whatever
thing.
it is, monetary means.
The amount of work that athletes put in
Yeah.
compared to that is completely different.
They just did it.
Sorry, it's completely different.
They just did it in front of a screen.
Brandon, you can't even. No, you can't even compare that, because it's not a fair standpoint.
But they're
You can't though, because it's like I just said, the amount of work and prep that goes into like actually being a professional athlete compared to being a
Okay.
professional gamer, where you're just
they don't have to practice every day.
Oh my! What do you? How do you practice
They don't
video
have to
games?
pra-
How do
they
you
don't have to
practice
practice
video
every day.
games?
They don't have to.
How do you-
They don't have to stay
Answer my
committed
question. How do you practice video games?
by staying consistent.
So by sitting on the game for 4 hours and
They
just
have to put
literally
in that
sitting there
extra
rotting
drive.
your brain,
That extra
like
drive.
like throwing like parachutes into the sky. Oh, drop below. Let's go to like Swayze, like whatever the hell.
Some of these e-gaming tournaments, they're making like $5 million, $10 million cash prizes. They're professional athletes. They have salaries.
They're not.
Like,
Do not compare gamers to as an athlete. They're not athletes.
all right. Maybe not an athlete.
Gamers
Maybe
and
not-
athletes are no.
I won't blur lines. I would. They're not athletes. They're not athletes. But
Thank you.
They're
Woo.
skilled professionals. Let's just put it that way. They're skilled.
All right.
They're
Like,
skilled
yeah, they can be
professionals.
skilled professionals,
And,
but
like,
like,
the
I still don't understand the whole like phenomenon.
It's
behind
all,
it.
to me, the
Because
point that
this
I'm
is
looking to
something.
get at.
This is an epidemic that I've
An
seen never.
epidemic?
That I see never ending.
Yo, so you know that 2/3 of Americans game in some way, whether it's on their phone or via a console. 2/3, 213 million people. Regardless if you
And guess what,
Yeah,
ladies
the
and gentlemen,
two-
I am not a part of that statistic.
in
Hey!
some way, shape, or form, whether it be on their Android, their iPhone, their Xbox, or their PlayStation, their computer, laptop at home, their tablet,
Their
or whatever.
desktop, their
Desktop, whatever.
their
it may be.
monitors.
Over 200
Your
million
Kindle.
Americans, man, are gaming in some way, shape, or form. So, epidemic? Maybe. But the worst, probably not, because that's not 200 million Americans freaking doing something negative. They're not doing something wrong.
Is it something productive though?
But who's to say
No.
that those people aren't productive in their daily lives? Like, come on.
They
Like,
can be
that's like-
productive in
you
their
can't
daily
say-
lives.
You can't say because you game, you're not productive. And that's the issue that I take. Is like, you can't say because somebody logs onto a game and chooses to, instead of watching 2 episodes of You or whatever is trending on Netflix or whatever, you know what I mean? Or binge watching some Games of Thrones series and, you know what I mean? Putting in 3-4 hours of fucking a binge and scrolling. That's no different than someone that was developing some type of communication or skill on a game or on a console. Like there's no way. Screen time is screen time. And it's whether you're idle or you're interactive and you're doing something about, like what you're saying when you're talking about the bowling and the Wii tennis, whatever, you know what I mean? That's cool. You're doing it for a purpose or you feel like you are. But like at the end of the day, it's still a form of entertainment. That's what I'm saying. Like whether you're playing a sport or you're gaming, you're doing it for like I jumped off on that point when you were talking about the streamers and how they make, it's egregious how much money they make and what they're doing.
But like
the
when I
people
say
log
that,
on
like
for
you
that.
shouldn't take that to heart because it's like I say the same thing about, you know, influencers, like the amount of money that they make. It's egregious as hell too.
That's the entertainment industry for us. That's where it's at right now. That's how it is. That's find the angle. You know what I mean? Work your demographic, however it may be. You know what I mean?
Like maybe this is just like the issue with me or like my generation, but like every time like I picture like a gamer, it's like some dude like hunched over sitting in his room with like a bunch of cans on the floor and like a Doritos bag half open and like Taco Bell from like 2 weeks ago. And it's like dark and like they just look literally like a corpse sitting there in front of the screen. I'm sorry, but that's what I picture as for that.
I feel like that's so crazy.
Whereas like
because,
me, like way back when I was playing the Wii, like I'm lively. I'm throwing stuff, you know, I'm hitting the moves on the Just Dance.
when's the last time you actually touched a game on your phone or whatever? Like,
I haven't had like during COVID, I think I re-downloaded Temple Run. Like, you know what that I don't play I don't
No
I
wonder
don't
why
know.
you hate it so much. That was what you were doing. You were just running across your screen for 5 hours at a time, just like jump.
I don't know. I
jump,
feel
jump.
like I would much rather watch like TV or like use social media than like play a video game. I don't know. It's like I said, it's like I understand to a certain extent like that it is like I said, a form of release, a way, I guess, as you said, to connect with others. I don't really understand that, but you made a
you're
point.
in the lobby. You're
But
in the
you're not.
group.
It's not like you're meeting new people and you're like, yo,
How
what's up?
often do you? Okay,
who are
so my
you?
question to you is how regularly? Now you know what? This is probably a terrible question because
Ask it.
Knowing you guys are just one fucking symbiote. So
Oh my God, that's
what's
like,
the point of me asking you this question? How often you talk to your friends? Because you literally
I talk to my friends almost every
single
day.
day on the quarter of an hour every.
that
10
is
to
not
15
true. I do not
minutes.
talk to them every.
From 2:30 to 4:45. You're
That's
just
like-
going
that's
down the
literally
line
not
in the
true.
group chat.
No, that's
Giving
not
everybody
true.
the
That's not true.
15-minute
Because,
rundown.
No, because we all have other things going on in our lives. We don't have time to sit there and text the girls about every detail. No time for that.
Yeah, but you know, you make sure.
And I
you get
hate
across.
when you say that we're a symbiote of each other, like we are one and
You
together.
guys are one conscious.
No, we're not.
You don't realize it, but you are. You're just one conscious. You just grew up together. You're just like, no one understands that. You guys,
that's not our
that's
fault.
Not fair
that
because you guys have known each other since this is crazy. It's the most absurd thing. You guys have all known each other, some from 3 to 5 years old. You
Yeah.
are now 20. You're about to be 23 years old.
Yeah.
Like, so you've known these people longer than you were even awake. You know, like you've known that's all you've known.
That's not true because I
it's so
remember the
true.
first
You've known
time
their
that I
friends
met my best friend, and I remember it vividly to this day.
And it's probably because it's the only
was our
real
first
memory
day.
you have.
That was really
she's your mouth
offensive.
fucking with you. But it's the best friend.
But you know what I mean? No, because like, I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like you said, like it's all different. Like everybody can find a way to connect with their people that they enjoy doing
One talk
similar
about
things.
life habits, though.
Yeah, so we talked about your life habit, which you know,
you want to come at me for the gaming, the whatnot, the ick, the in the corner like a corpse, you know. But what's the like? My real question is what's the fascination with vaping? Because I see you not like you have literally an assortment of pods and jewels and pens that you just keep on you, electronic devices that are just made for some type of some kind of inhalation of smoke. You're like, hey, do you want this flavor or that flavor or what you got?
and guys,
You
this
know what I mean?
is
Like,
why I
what are
was
we
really
going on
nervous
today?
for this episode
Want
because
THC or you
do you
want
see what I'm dealing
CBD?
with?
Like, how are you feeling right now? Like, what's your mood? Like,
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
if you didn't get the hint by now from Brandon's long escapade of my bad habit is vaping.
So I just
It's been it is a really bad habit. And to answer your question, there's not really a fascination that I have behind it. It's just that I do it. And it's something that I'm not proud of. Like I don't go on and like brag about it, like, yo, I vape. Like,
But you have no problem asking me if I have a block for a charger for your vape.
no problem at all.
And be like, hey, you got a block for this charger. I need to charge my pen.
Yeah, like the other night, like Brandon and I went to go get a drink with one of our friends, and me and my friend who also vapes, we were like, hey, both of our jewels are dead. Do you have a block for a charger? And he's like, no, like, well, you guys are so addicted to the vapes, like you're a bunch of fiends. Yeah, like, and it's bad. Like,
What do you mean? Yeah.
I know, because I
You
know
don't
that I'm a fiend for it. Here
So-
it is right here in my hands. Like, and I'm about to hit it right now because we're talking about it.
No. But you don't see how like we've gone full circle. Like they used to try to like ban smoking from inside. Like don't smoke cigarettes in public. It's bad for secondhand smoke. You know what I mean? For health. Like even vaping isn't really legal indoors. People just do it. It's one of those like frowned upon denominators. Like did you do it? Did you not do it? Are you gonna say something? Are you gonna say something? You know what's going on here? Am I gonna be that person to bring it there? Where it's like we're on the show. You know what I mean? It's like a regular. Am I gonna address it with this person? Do they have an addiction? Like I gotta talk about.
I know I have an addiction.
Is it THC or is it just nicotine? Is it like you're thinking about all these things now?
Here's my thing, and I guess I guess for me to kind of get into the backstory of why I vape, you know, because obviously vapes were technically designed as an alternative for cigarette smokers to like try and ease them off of, you know, smoking cigarettes. I never smoked cigarettes. I mean, I have, but it was never like a habit that I had. And then once I got to college, you know, I do smoke weed. And one of my friends was like, hey, you know, like maybe you would like just try the vape. Because all throughout high school, a bunch of my friends did it. And I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. Blah, 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 blah. I know it's really bad for you. I don't want that to become a habit of mine. And then, yeah, I went to college and I tried it and I really liked it. I liked the head rush that I would get from it. And
I smoke a vape and I want to throw up.
yeah.
I had a vape and I literally get and I smoke weed. I
yeah,
smoke
but like,
weed,
so this is my thing. And like, I guess I'm like a little bit different to other people. I don't like any of like that, the fruity, vapes. Like that's like too thick on my throat.
You're gonna start getting into it. Here. No, tell me more.
I don't like any of that.
Let's get into the
I
thick
think
of
that
it.
they're gross. I think that they smell bad. I think that they
Like those
just
menthols, that extra peppermint. That
so what I
Herbaceous.
like, I stick
You wanna hit
I
with the
stick to the
spice?
good old Juul. Yeah.
It's a good old natural.
It's not natural. But like in my like fucked up brain, part of me believes that like me smoking the Juul is a better alternative to me like smoking like the
How? I feel
fruity cotton candy bubblegum splash
I
in
feel
your
like
mouth.
right-
Like, you know
I feel
what I
like
mean?
Right
Like,
off the Paul. No,
well, that's
no
the
dig.
vape names nowadays are crazy, okay?
Yeah.
And I know that people that like do it can agree with me on that, but some vape names nowadays are crazy.
No, that I wouldn't. I couldn't tell you one. I couldn't tell you one pod if it wasn't THC.
No, it's- but
or
it's-
like, and I could hardly tell you the names of
But like I don't know why I do it. I
No, maybe that's something you need to think about. Cheers to that.
why would I think about why I do it? I don't want to think about why I do it because the longer I think, it's just gonna, I know that there's no real answer as to why I do it. The only real, I mean, nowadays the reason why I do it is because I'm just so used to it. And it's so bad.
I feel like it's a counterculture type of thing.
What do you mean?
Like it's like I do it because I can do it. Like I do it because like
I
it's
don't
like,
do it because I can
I will
do it.
and I want to. I want
No,
to do it.
because
Like,
do you
know,
think
like,
that like I want to be sitting in a restaurant like
fucking
like,
vaping inside? Yeah, you do it because you can. You like feel empowered by it.
I don't
You're
feel
like, you're
empowered.
like,
It's not
yeah.
an empowerment
I
thing.
hate that shit. Say something to me. Say it's like a thrill in your life.
It's
You're
not
like-
an empowerment
you're like,
thing, Brandon. And if you think it's an
like-
empowerment thing, then you have some
It's
severe
like-
issues. Because if you think that I'm sitting in places being like, yo, like I vape, like I have the power and all this.
I just
place,
want to
like,
believe that.
let me
wanna
blow
be-
some fat clouds.
Let's go.
That's not what I think.
I want to believe that
Like,
before I believe.
I hope that
you're
people
just,
don't notice when I'm sitting there vaping.
Pause. No. Just,
I'm so for real.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
It's like I said to you, like
you can't hit me
when
with
I was telling you, you know, some of my stories about it, like I have hit it on an airplane before. You know, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to hit it on airplanes.
How long was the flight? How long was the flight?
It was to Miami,
And how long is that flight?
like 3 hours.
3 hours? You could have hit your pen for 3 hours?
It wasn't my pen. I can go without the pen. The Juul is a different story. I'm so serious.
for
because
three,
like
for 3
smoking
hours.
weed is a way for me to unwind. And like
So that's
the
obviously
Juul
you're gonna
is like the-
compartmentalize the weed.
the Juul is like a hyperfixation thing. But not it's been a hyperfixation now for a long time. I'm not going to get into how long,
so, like,
but
the Juul is like someone playing video games. You're just picking that one thing to fixate on.
but like it's
You're like,
but
yeah,
like but
what
you
the
even
Juul
said
is to you, how it stimulates you is the way that.
but
the
it
game
doesn't
is,
even
like,
stimulate me anymore. It's just like you know, my friends and I have had multiple conversations because, you know, every single one of us is like, oh yeah, like we should quit. We should probably quit. Like it's not good, the chemicals that we're putting into our bodies.
So then this is literally, you're telling me all of this and it's blowing my mind because it's making me think more like, then what is the fascination? Like the fuck, you guys know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out like right off the bat, like just a couple years after Juul's dropped. They were thinking about banning them.
They
I
were.
feel like
They
were
were.
thinking
Flavored
about
vapes are banned in New York.
Oh, see, there you go. So like you're gonna think that
I don't
like,
smoke
it's
flavored
sending-
vapes though. Only menthol, baby.
So,
Rock on.
So it was just the flavored, you know what I mean? Like, or did they just like take that category out? They're like, look, this is like, we may have hit them too fast with this eat sick thing. We might have hit them too fast.
Well,
with
this is
eat
gonna.
sick
You're
thing.
gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at my rebuttal, but this is my standpoint. Then, why did they create them if they knew that they were gonna be such a bad idea?
They just need an alternative because I think that big tobacco isn't dumb, and they knew that.
But it's
they
like,
needed,
but
it's
you,
like rebranding.
yeah, but you've had this conversation.
It's why is Twitter X? Why is Facebook Meta? You know, why are these?
Yeah, but
companies
you have had this
changing their-
conversation with me before, where you know you've said, even with like the vaping and stuff, like it's a way higher concentration, like of
Yeah.
nicotine strain.
Yeah, that's right off the bat. Right off, everyone knows that. Like you're talking about a pod is like the equivalent to over 10 packs of cigarettes. So like if you're hitting a pod a day, you're hitting 10 pack. You're smoking you're smoking a 10 pack. You know, like when we're talking about health effects and what it does to your body, and I might be wrong. You know what I mean? Who says? Like, what do I really know about the the biology of the human being, nothing. But you know, hearsay says, right? Like whoever those individuals that have put in the time and credential into it have stated that. So I just think that it must be some type of fascination. There has to be some kind
but like
of
how many
trend.
friends, like how many friends do you have? Like this is also the difference too, because it's like, it's a lot harder for me to like quit and be something that I drop because so many people around me also do it. So it's just like, it's like hard because it's always around me. It's like whether or not I really wanted to quit or not, like my friends always have one, always. So it's, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, like you look at your friends. Do any of your friends vape?
I have like a handful of people that I'm actually friends with. So none of them vape. No.
Sorry, they're all acquaintances of Brandon's because remember he don't have real friends.
No, I mean there's only a few. It's a select group, you know.
But I'm saying, but like, do you have friends that smoke that, or people in your life that smoke cigarettes?
No, not even cigarettes. Or I don't have anyone around. Like no one in my immediate. I mean, yeah, there's people around me who smoke cigarettes, but like nobody in my immediate circle of people that I know that I care about smoke cigarettes. No, and nor do they vape.
See,
So I think that's just like something that's trending. Because I don't want to just attack your gen and say it's your gen because I see people from like all over. I think it's because of the power. They know they can do it inside.
with that whole, it's because of the power.
Like, I'm talking
Nobody
about more-
vapes because they think that it makes them above somebody
No,
else because
it's
they
that-
can
yeah,
sit
like,
in a bar and vape and not be told to get kicked
yes.
out.
It's
No,
like
it's
the-
not. It's not like
the-
that.
I'm telling you, it's
Oh my
underlined.
God. No, it's not,
underlined.
Brandon. What do you mean? You think the first time that I picked up a vape, I was like, yo, this is going to make me so much
It's like
cooler
the
of a person?
No, it's like
no,
the
it's embarrassing.
It's like the Stanford study. It's like because I know I can do it, I do it. Because I know I can get away with it, I can get away with it. You know, like quick little tidbit about.
But see,
like,
but that's where I think that you and I, like, this is where I think the struggle is coming between you and I right now, is because I think when I look at my friends at vape, I don't think any single one of us looks at it as like, we do it just because we can.
But you
No.
told me you couldn't make it a 3-hour flight in the air without vaping.
When you're
all the time.
hungover or something on a flight or something,
Make it a
like you
3-hour
want your
flight.
vape. If you
A 3-hour flight, you couldn't make it without hitting your vape. 3 hours, you know what I'm saying? And that's not something to be like, oh, okay, well, like maybe there's something going on there. You know, if that was any other user of any other substance, people would be like, yo, what's going on? Like, why?
But like, let's
what's
throw it
going
back.
on?
You used to be able to smoke cigarettes on airplanes. So what's the difference?
So, and
vapes, and my vape does not smell because I smoke a
bullshit.
menthol.
Bullshit. Every vape smells. Whoever said vapes don't smell is a goddamn liar.
No, the
They're
Juul
liars.
does not. The
It has
menthol
a
Juul does
fragrance.
not.
It has a fragrance. I can tell when someone ripped a pen, and maybe because I'm a user, I've ripped a pen. You know what I mean? I can tell when someone's ripped a pen and they've just blown in the air and I walked in it. You're
I can
silly to
too.
think that if you walked by it and you haven't noticed it.
Okay, but like I said, with like the fruity shit, like yeah, that 100%. But like me with my Juul, no, you can't smell it.
I refuse to believe that though.
Why?
I mean, like,
I don't know. It's just like, here's the thing. I don't think that anybody really vapes because they necessarily want to. I think that they do it. I don't know why people do it though.
Yeah, I'm
That's
telling
what's
you,
so
'cause they
weird
can.
is I can't even come up with a
Because they
legitimate
can.
answer.
Because they can, because I'm right on this situation. You don't want to admit I'm right. They do it because they know that they can. That's why I feel like that it's starting to transcend into other generations, where I'm starting to see people that are like 60 at bars, 50 at bars, just vaping at the bar.
I mean, yeah.
Because say something to me. You know what I mean? Say something to me when I just ordered $50 worth of something. You want a tip.
Yeah, but I feel like with people like that, like they're
You know?
using the vapes as an alternative to get off of cigarettes. Whereas like my generation, you know, like we're not really using it to get off of cigarettes. We're just
to my
vaping
point,
just to vape.
Who's to say what's in the vape? I can't even question what's in the vape. All I can do is tell that you're not allowed to smoke in here. And we've just spent the past 40 years as you rip your vape, trying to get people from stop ripping
I
cigarettes
told him that this was
indoors.
going to happen. I told him that
You
when
know,
we talked
stop
about it, that
ripping. So how did we just go full circle? We talk about evolution of man. We just went from freaking smoking cigarettes indoors and gambling at bars you know, to like 40 years later, people are just doing it again.
Vaping and sports betting on their cell phones,
Yeah.
like literally.
Yeah, to vaping and sports betting on their cell phones in the modern era. Like, what has really changed? You know, not a single thing.
But that's how society works. Society never really changed. We constantly go in circles
like
of everything. But that's how it is, and that's never gonna change.
No,
you think that you and I are gonna be the people to try to change it?
So be it. So what may be, maybe you never know. Like there could be something at some point where like people are like, oh, maybe I am being so like, you know, myopic and objective to things, and I'm not looking at like the full scope. Maybe I do have a narrow sight and I don't consider other people's opinions, and I'm constantly opinionated on my own ideas and the own things that I feel about all of the time, and I never really actually consider the people that are close to me or people who are actually supporting me only in just little microcosms of like 5 minutes of my life, like they do everything else, compartmentalizing every data, everything that they see on their phones. Like, yeah, maybe, who knows? We could be. I'm not gonna say that we're not.
Like seriously, like I can't.
We're not.
I can't. It's just
either
like,
or. I mean, I'm not necessarily.
But like, do you judge people who vape?
I judge people all the time. I would be a liar if I didn't say I
okay, but that wasn't my question. I wasn't asking on if you judge people all the time. I'm asking you if you judge people that vape.
I'm gonna say, listen, real talk.
Because I don't
make judgments.
I'm not saying that
judgments.
I'll say is sometimes I judge people that game a lot. If you do it every once in a while, whatever. But like if you doing it all the time, yeah, I'm gonna judge you. Sorry.
I mean, if you listed things of like what I would rather do versus gaming, it would be a long list. Would I rather be out with friends versus gaming? Yes. Would I rather be with my partner versus gaming? Yes.
See, but this is the difference.
You know what I mean? Would I rather be like doing any other?
I was just gonna say something so. I can't though.
What?
I was gonna say, but that's the difference. So the vape can come with me anywhere it needs to go.
Addict, straight crack. This is the heat rock. If you didn't know, now you know. Like simple as that. E6. That's the heat rock. New flavor in your ear. Whatever you want to get.
No, because like there is times where like when I was at school, like obviously I'm not gonna hit it like in the middle of class, and like when I'm on.
You did though. You were like, there was just some days you were
no,
like,
I didn't.
7th period. You're like, yo, I just ate lunch. I'm feeling good.
No,
like,
that's not no. But like
just
I don't
quick
know.
in the bath. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I mean, I'd be lying if I say that like every time I like go to the bathroom, like I don't go and hit it.
Yo, it's just kind of wild to me because like, to me vaping is worse than cigarettes, because at least
it probably is,
because at least with cigarettes you have to like say I'm gonna stop what I'm doing
to go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. You know, like versus vaping, you're like it's worse than someone taking their inhaler. You know, at least somebody who's taking their inhaler is anxious or they're working.
Speaking of that, you want to hear a funny story?
That you vape and you have asthma, so
you want to hear a funny story?
No,
so I have a friend that does vape and has asthma.
Yeah,
like severe, like slow, like not really bad asthma, but like she has like slight asthma.
That's
and there was one
crazy.
time my friend and I were on a flight.
How you vape and have asthma though?
It was the same.
Hey, you want to know when I was like, why I'm fascinated?
Can you let me tell the story?
How do you vape and have asthma?
Well, if you let me tell the story, maybe you would understand.
I smoke weed and have asthma, so.
Exactly. So what are you even saying? You're like, oh my God. Like Brandon's like, oh, how can you do that? How can you do that to your lungs? Meanwhile, he smokes weed every day.
But you
so
just agreed that people vape more than they smoke.
Yeah, 100%.
So there you go.
But like, this is a funny story about what he was saying. Like one time, my friends and I were on a flight. It was the same flight to Miami. You know, I've been on a lot of trips with my friends. I've been on a lot of airplanes where, yeah, I have hit my vape, but I never got caught. So one time, my friends and I were all sitting on the plane. We're going to Miami, and me and my friend are sitting in the seat next to each other, and we hear alarms going off on the flight. And we're like, are we like about to go down? Like, what is going on? What is going on? And then we see our third friend coming from the bathroom, trotting up to our seat. And we're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's going on? She goes, I set the fire alarms off because I was hitting my vape in the bathroom. but I told them that it was my inhaler, so we're all good. And we were all good. We we were literally fine. Nothing happened, but
no fucking way.
I mean, okay, but that's the flight attendant's fault for like not being like for thinking that inhaler was gonna like set off a
flight
smoke
attendant
alarm.
probably doesn't want to freaking inconvenience everyone's day and stop the entire flight because someone
Deboard
decided
the flight
deboard the entire
because-
flight because someone decided they couldn't go 3 hours without hitting their vape. Like 3 hours.
I mean, like, listen, we were just kids. Like, we were going to Miami. It was spring break. We were trying to have a good time.
Mind you, this was 2 years ago, so you know.
Yeah. It was like 3. It was 3 years ago.
Take this all into perspective. The level of maturation has been exponential.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's a different thing because it's like I said. It's like I feel like some people do judge people that vape, like because it's like you said. I think that a lot of people, especially maybe of your generation and older generations, have this ideal that like,
It's like, why don't you care about yourself?
yeah. Why don't you care about yourself?
Why are you like the simple question of like, hey, maybe self-care
but like,
is
did we
reflective
even-
of
but, like-
self-love and is reflective of,
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, if you think of like the general age demographic of people that vape, I would say that majority of it is like people my age.
But that's the thing, though. I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
Because I see so many older people vaping all the time.
But it's like-
I'm
but it's
old,
like
so
I
I
said to
notice
you-
it when old people vape, and they just do it casually. They're just kicking it.
But it's
They're
like I
just
said to you, I think that they're using it in a different way than we all do.
But y'all use it like a crutch. It's in your hand. It's like you need it in your hand. You need to just feel it. You need to know that it's there.
I'm not even
You're
gonna
just- you're just
I'm not
sitting
even gonna
there.
make a comment on
You're
that
just
because
sitting there like your wand.
fine, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, no, when I'm driving, like it
It's just
feels
there.
weird when I don't have. But I don't even have to be hitting it. Like I just like me holding it. Like it's like here it is.
So Tess, I'm sure there's so many. This is so sad too. I'm sure there's so many times you thought you wanted to hit your pen, but you just wanted to pick it up. You just wanted to hold it and know.
See,
it was
but when
there.
you say the pen, it's different because I don't.
Playing the pen is the adult blankie. I'm saying
pen-
it right now.
But the pen, no,
vape
okay, but
is
you
the adult
need
blankie.
to decipher pen from Juul because
the-
pen is something totally
No.
different than Juul.
No.
Yes, because yes, it
No.
is. Oh my God, yes,
No,
it
it
is,
is
Brandon.
not.
Yes, it is because the
An
pen
apple
has
is an apple, whether
No,
it's
because the
Macintosh
pen-
or Granny
the pen-
Smith, Mama. Like
the pen has an everlasting effect.
It's the everlasting.
When you're hitting a
Why
pen,
are you
you're
hitting
when you're hitting a.
with this Alice in Wonderland shit right now. This everlasting effect.
But I'm saying because when you hit a pen,
Cut off on the
when
git.
you hit a pen, you're hitting a pen and you're hitting it to get high. When I hit the Juul, I'm not hitting the Juul to like feel a nicotine buzz because quite frankly, I don't really get that anymore. I hit the Juul just because it's like I almost believe that it's an oral fixation
me
that
hit
I
the
have.
Juul.
And
Let me hit the Jewel.
okay,
I want to hit. You're talking about it. I feel like I need to hit it. I want to know.
but
what
I'm
it's-
saying
I
almost
need to know. What
yeah,
it
but I'm
is.
saying I feel like for me personally, I feel like it's an oral fixation.
This is sacred.
It is sacred, and I like to keep it old school, classic. Like
You can shake these, no? They do something when you
party
shake 'em.
mode, yeah. Brandon, do you want to see it? You go like this. Look.
Yo, stop
see.
fucking with me right now.
Oh, well, you have to hit it first, and then I'll go.
Yo,
Watch.
you just told me you could turn this thing into party mode.
Look. Woo! It's rainbow. So sick.
No way. This is crazy. The secret from
that's
secret
what I'm
life
saying.
crisis
Seriously.
from the silent life crisis to the silent future of these things. This is
But
where
seriously,
we're at
Brandon,
right
I'm
now.
so serious when I say this. Is that you have to differentiate.
It's
like,
all the
weed.
same.
No,
Fuck
it's
that.
not though, and
Fuck
I
that.
don't. No, it's not.
Fuck that. It's all the same. It's some oral fixation. It's something to keep your mind off of something. It's all something. You know what I mean? It's the same. What does this even do? What am I supposed to get off this?
A head rush.
That's it? That was supposed to just get a head rush.
Yeah, like people would when they smoke a cigarette and you get a head rush.
That's
a head
it.
buzz.
You're just getting that. Because when I taste this, when I eat, I just automatically think that like I hate me.
All right, well, good for you. I'm glad that you think that because if I ever sat down hunched over in a dark room with 5 monitors playing a video game, I would think to myself too, I hate myself. So I'm glad we're on the same standpoint for that, my friend.
This is crazy, but this is all day. You just told me this is all day where gaming is an hour or two. And so what if it was 3?
It's not all day. It's
and
not
so
all day.
what if it was
It's
3?
not all day because I go to work and I have things to do for work.
Look at this thing right now. It's there all day. You said you need it in the hand while you're driving in the whip.
Not always. Like it could just be sitting next to me, but like sometimes I like holding it.
I don't. It's a fascination. It's something that I can't understand.
But I don't like the term fascination when you say that because it's not really I'm not like, I don't wake up every day and I'm like, wow, I'm fascinated by this.
No, but it's like the lifestyle, the allure of doing
it. What lifestyle? What are you fucking talking about? There's nobody who vapes like thinks that it's like it's a part of their lifestyle.
When you jewel-eye jewel. When you jewel-eye jewel just like that, what are you talking about?
Like he's like literally like it's not like that. It's like call me by your name, call me by your jewel. Like
call me by like what you hit. What's your flavor? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but like this is because I think that I think that you think that like people that vape,
or,
like you're like they're going up to people at a bar being like, yo, like what flavor you got? If a man ever came up to me and asked me what flavor I had of vape, it would not be something that I'm like, hey.
What do you like? You know what I mean?
Well, what do you like? What kind of games? It's the same thing.
I see exactly. What is the game? The title of the game is The Flavor of the Jewel. You know, we're arguing semantics here. You know, real life habits should be like work. You know, your work-life balance. What do you think how much you should be dedicating to yourself versus how much you're dedicating to a job?
Okay, so here's my work-life balance.
You know?
You go to work and then you practice a form of self-care.
You go to work and self-care.
Yeah.
What's your 24-hour day? How you need to sleep?
You want me to go through my day?
No. This is heavy.
You want me to go through my day?
Because what if I don't look at you the same?
I wake up.
What if I don't look at you the same after this?
I wake up.
24-hour day. First off, how much sleep do you need? How much sleep do you need if you're gonna start a day off? Start about like
for me, I need at least 7 hours of sleep.
7 hours.
At least, or else I am going to be not in a good mood.
7.
And I'm gonna need a nap if I don't get at least 7.
7. So in bed by.
See, this is where I mess with myself because I get into bed at a certain point of time, but then I'll sit there and like.
What's the deal you made with yourself?
What?
The deal you made with yourself when you're like, Alexis Rain, you're sitting in bed, you're like, hey, I'm going to hold myself to this standard. I want to be in bed at this time. I want to be up at this time.
My ideal time.
You said self-care.
My ideal time to be in bed is anywhere from the time 10 to 11. That's like my ideal time to be in bed, asleep by like 11:30 midnight. Does that happen all the time? No shot. Because
how regular? Like what would you say? If
7-day
work week, how often are you getting in bed by 10? How often are you going to sleep?
It depends because there's
consistent or not consistent. You already said it inconsistent.
It's inconsistent all the time because there's some nights that like I can come home from work and like I'll sit there and dilly-dally and like it'll take me 2 hours to like eat something and then it'll take me another like hour to finally like get in the shower. But then there's some nights where I come home from work and I'm like immediately eat, immediately shower, immediately get in my bed. It just depends. I wish that I could have a more consistent schedule, but I feel like the way that my life is right now, it doesn't really fit in that way, if that makes sense.
Okay, so we're going through
because like there's some nights where I can go to bed really, really late, and then there's some nights where I'll go to bed at like 10 o'clock.
Because this is coming from workaholic, everyone. We're going into work-life balance. I have zero.
Brandon is a workaholic.
I have zero accountability for my work-life balance, and I'm probably
Brandon
not the best
does not ever take time for himself. The man would literally work 24/7 every day if he could.
If I could. So I really.
Whereas me, no, I like clocking out.
Okay, so it's important for me, you know what I mean, to at least understand so that I can kind of regulate myself in a conventional environment.
See, but do you think that that's a healthy relationship that you have with yourself and work when it comes to like a work-life balance?
Who's to say?
Me?
Maybe not.
Me.
Maybe not. Maybe it may have hindered every relationship I've ever had.
And there's the truth, my friend.
But we'll get into that. We'll get into that on the next episode.
Yeah, that will be the next episode.
I mean, it may have hindered every relationship I ever had. But when it comes to, work-life balance and healthy life habits, I probably don't have the best of them. Diet, nutrition, and how often I'm at work, 6-7 days a week and doing, now doing the podcast, it's every day. But either way, it makes me happy, and I find joy in, the things that I'm able to ascertain, like, and the things that I'm able to accomplish. So
yeah, but I mean, like, I obviously enjoy working too, but like,
no, you don't.
yes, I do.
Been around you. You don't like it. You don't.
I do enjoy working, but I also what?
You don't want to have to work.
I would love to not have to work, but unfortunately, that's like not how the world works.
I'm just glad. I'm glad you acknowledge it. So what's the okay?
What person?
So wait, we're going off. We're going off.
Sorry.
Cockeyed on the high noon. You know what I mean?
I'm not cockeyed off the high noon.
Cockeyed off the high noon.
That's not true. No, but I don't know.
But point being is that what is a healthy work-life balance for someone of your age, your demographic? Like, what do you think that like you should be contributing? Because 40-hour work week versus blah 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 blah.
Well, but like my work weeks are I usually put in a 45-hour work week every
45, like boom. You're like 45 straight. I'm putting a little bit extra, but
sometimes
just enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
and I think that's a 45-hour work week. Right now I work 5 days a week, 4 of them being doubles, so that's like a 12-hour shift, and then one of them being a 6-hour shift. And then I have 2 days off. So I think that I think that for me personally, my work-life balance is in check, just because I know how much I can handle, and being surrounded by people all the time and like working in the job that we work in, like I physically probably would not be able to do it 7 days a week, like every single day, like all day. I couldn't. And like that may make me sound like a baby and stuff like that, but also it's like, I don't know, I just prioritize. There's other, like, I think that for me, in order for me to be successful at work and be successful just in my day-to-day life, I have to practice forms of self-care and forms of healthy habits. You know what I mean? And it's like even when you and I were talking about healthy life habits that you and I practice, like we were like joking about it, but like self-care is a huge thing. Like there's nothing that I enjoy more than coming home at the end of the day and like taking my makeup off and taking a shower and washing my face. Like I enjoy doing that. I enjoy spraying my aromatherapy spray all around my room before I go to bed and lighting a candle. You know what I mean? And like reading a book.
No.
Or even like
you read?
Yeah.
You read?
I do. I like
you picked up a book?
I love to read.
Like an actual book, a physical book?
Yes, Brandon, an actual book.
pages?
The book that I'm currently reading right now is I Didn't Know I Needed This by Eli Rallo. She's like a really cool influencer that I love, but she reminds me of the modern day Carrie Bradshaw. If you watch Sex and the City, then you would know what that is. Obviously, Brandon has no clue what I'm talking about, but I do like to read. And honestly, I'm enjoying her book a lot right now because for what she does is like her like career and stuff. Mm-hmm. She is like very much somebody that I look up to. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, and I mean, she like talks about in one of her chapters, like she was like, there's like, obviously you talk about a bunch of like habits and stuff because she's talking about just being, a girl and also like in your 20s and growing up and, the different phases and stages that you go through of growing up. And I mean, life habits are something that are ever changing. And I think that
I feel like the life habits should be like that, life habits. You know what I mean? They're routine. What do you mean? They're consistent. Like they don't.
Yeah, but
change.
Like, do you want your gaming to be a life habit that you go on through with the rest of your life? Because I know for a fact that I don't want vaping to be a life habit that I carry on with me. When I have a family.
But I don't game nearly as much as you vape. Let's just get that out of the way. But we're on a different. I don't game nearly as much as you vape. Me gaming for an hour and a half, 2 hours on like 2-3 nights a week. So let's just say modestly 6 hours a week, 6 to 7 hours a week of gaming, which would equate to an hour a day, like is not anywhere compared to holding a vape, killing myself every day. We're not going to do that. We're not going to add that up. And though while I'm not trying to be negative Nancy here, I do agree. And it's not a habit that I want to continue to carry on through the rest of my life. But I feel like I make a lot of effort into contributing my time into learning different skills and other trades where that's not the only thing that I'm using to whatever, escape or decompress,
Yeah.
For me personally, like I have other ventures and other avenues that I look to expand upon, whether it's like laying foundations and learning like blacktop, whatever, how remedial that sounds. Do you know what I mean? And doing driveways, and I've been doing that for the past few years, or just like business aspects of like creating concepts for restaurants and ideas for kitchens and menus and other assets where I can like consult. You know, like I don't just dedicate my time into one thing. It's just how my mind works, where for me to turn off my brain and to be able to connect with people that I'm trying to keep some kind of semblance of relevant, like it's unhealthy lifestyle that I live. So for me to have some semblance of truth and like being connected to the people that I want to care about, you know, that's the closest way that I'm able to link with them. So, you know, if I'm able to get on there and talk to a friend or two or catch up with someone, there's no way that I'm going to put in that effort.
See, like this is like where it's like different, because I feel like you like think them like my friends and I like all like like
I don't communicate with
we're
them
like,
like
yo,
that.
everybody sit down, everybody try the different vapes we got today. Hey, like that's
No,
not what's
but
going on with
you
like
guys are
my
just-
friend.
I'm just saying you guys are much more in tune, much more connected, much more
Yeah.
enveloped in each
But
other's
that's also-
lives
yeah.
than I am, per se, where I would say that's like a distinct difference there, you know? Like, while I do agree there's a lot of people that are gaming that it's just becoming, you know,
An
only reason why-
epidemic.
an epidemic, vaping, gaming, whatever. I hear you. It's an epidemic. It's a negative life habit that I feel like
He just agreed with me.
or
everyone.
life habit that can become a negative if not addressed, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel grateful that I have people around me who are able, again, talking about supports, you know, I'm grateful that I have people around me that are able to acknowledge and address their own life habits where they're able to exemplify, you know, the positive things to do, whether,
Yeah.
you know, it's intramural volleyball leagues or,
God.
you know, or just being with their partners and like doing healthy things like cooking and cleaning around the house, or just maintaining their lives, you know what I mean? And seeing
Yeah.
examples of that every day rather than just vegging in a corner, you know, and not really. And I've been guilty of that at some times.
Yeah, I
but,
think
like,
that if
you
you're
know?
human, you can admit that you've been guilty of that. Like,
so, you know, for
not
that-
any
for that
human
aspect.
like goes around every single day. Like, and I was saying this before we started the episode too, but it's like, I hate to break it to everybody in the world, but like everyone has a vice, whether or not it's a bad habit or a good one. Every person has one.
So, you know,
Something that helps them like get through it.
And it's about the deal you make with yourself again, you know,
Exactly.
like what deal are you going to tell yourself? Like you said, you want to be in bed between 10 and 11, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So what time are you trying to wake up? We're going to get through this. We're going to get through the seg of like, what's healthy life? Or
What
I said,
time?
you wake up 45 hours a week, you're dedicated to work. You know, you're saying that you need at least 7 hours a week dedicated to the sleep. You need the rest, idling, rest,
laying my head
sleep,
to rest.
laying your head to rest, 7 hours a day. So, you know, 1428, you know, we go along there. Like, how many hours in a week do we really have? Like 200 and something?
I don't know.
I can't even
I don't do
count.
math.
So, I don't do math either. Let's just keep it running. I'm not here to
I don't know, but
to
I
run the
wake up.
algorithm.
I wake up
What do you
usually.
wake up at? 7 hours a week. You go to bed at 10, 11. You're waking up at what? 6:30, 7 o'clock?
No.
No? Then you're getting more than 7 hours of sleep, man.
Well,
I don't know
but
to
that's
tell
what I'm
you.
saying.
time
That's
you're
my
getting out of bed.
ideal of me going to bed is 10, 11.
So
If
you're
I go to bed at 11 o'clock, I'll wake up naturally at like
So we all know.
7:38. But if I'm going to bed at like 2,
How
it's
often
hard.
do you get to bed by 10?
Not very
we see
often.
how often you're consistent.
Not
with
very
yourself.
often.
So you're not even very consistent with you.
I can be in bed by 10, but like, am I sleeping by 10? No shot.
Someone's trying. Yeah, of course. So then how often are you going to sleep before midnight?
I would say probably 3 times a week.
Before midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So the other half of your week, you're loosey goosey, balls. to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. What do you want to do? You want to set?
I
some
mean, I would
standards?
love to fix that about myself, but I think that
Does it
my
matter?
sleeping habits are really bad. I have a really bad sleep schedule.
But then what's more important to you? That you're able to do what you want to do as you're living life in the moment, or you're trying to like stay consistent with the plan? Is it
here's
affecting
the
your
thing.
plan? Does it affect your plan?
No.
So it doesn't affect your plan.
I mean, sometimes it does, because sometimes my friends will always like come at me and be like, when I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to hang out with anybody, like blah blah blah, like I work so much, and it's like, Alexis, you work just as much as everybody else, but like I don't know. I had to learn this myself over the past, like, I would say year and a half. I really had to learn how to actually like, you're gonna laugh when I say this, but like fully like live, if that makes sense.
You still ain't living. What are you talking about?
But you know what I mean? Like I wasn't
I hear
ever
you.
like fully allowing myself to like go out and like have fun and like experience things like to the fullest of their ability, because like there was just
You had
always
fun all throughout college. What are you talking about? You were thriving out in those days. You know, quarantine, breakdown, you know what I mean?
no. The college was probably the 4 most like dark, depressing years of my entire life.
Oh my God. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Okay, let's come back. Let's come
Start
back.
crying. No, but you know what I mean? It's like I obviously like I would love to practice more healthy life habits in my life, but I think that it's like we said, like as a point where like it relates back to the last episode with like the quarter life crisis. I'm still figuring out how to implement these healthy life
So what's the
habits.
self-care? So what's self-care look like for
What self-care
Alexis?
do I practice?
Yeah, what's self-care look like?
I like to
You said your aromatherapies. I know you went on your little thing about, you know, you like to shower and take off your makeup and aromatherapy.
Yeah, I
but
love,
what's
like,
self-care?
self-care. I like to journal. I like to read a book.
The journaling and reading. You did mention the reading, but journaling.
Yeah.
You journal.
Yeah.
You journal.
Yes.
Am I in your journal?
No.
I'm not in your journal.
No.
I didn't make my way.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, I like that. See, we're still acquaintances. So, see,
No, but like I
cemented that we're
a lot of the time when I journal, like most of my journal entries, like I'll just kind of jot like majority of like my feelings for the day, what's kind of going on in my life, just as a way for me to kind of get at, like all like that running nonsense that's going on in my brain, like onto a piece of paper. Like it is a release for me, because especially when like I'm going through really hard times and like I'm really not doing my best, journaling is so helpful, because when I can't figure out one thing to grasp to like try and figure out, it's way easier for me to like actually just put it onto paper and, you know, see, okay, this is like what is going on in my life. These are things that I can try and do to fix it and try and make myself feel better. And like a lot of the time too, when I journal, I like to keep like a mood chart. So like at the end of every entry, I'm not kidding, at the end of every entry, I'll like put like what general mood I felt throughout that entire day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. I'm sure that actually helps you get like a general understanding of like yourself though. Like I could imagine going back into
Oh
that.
my God, it's so
like,
crazy. When
6
I look
months
at,
from
when
the
I
past,
read
like-
some of the stuff that like I had wrote when I was like obviously not doing well, it like makes me sad to like think of myself like being in a place like that and like
Isn't it
feeling,
inspiring to see that you lifted yourself up
yeah,
out of
it
that?
makes me feel so good, because now I'm so happy and I'm in such a different place. And I feel that I also think too, like journaling just like helps like with like my communicative skills. Like there's a
Okay.
lot of times where like I'm thinking about like where I'm like writing stuff down that like I probably wouldn't really fully feel comfortable about like talking about.
Yeah.
But when I see that like, oh, I actually have a decent way of putting this, it makes me feel more comfortable to share it with other people.
Solid. All right. You know, with me, I would just see. I think it's much better than anything I have. God, I'm not joining anything.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you probably have some healthy life habits too.
some.
Just give me one.
You know, just
Just to end this
affirmations.
on a positive note,
Like,
you
just,
know?
just affirmations. That's really the only thing that
See,
I
but
can
that's
give
a great
myself.
thing,
It's
because
like,
not
just
a lot of-
remind myself every day of what.
Yeah.
But I have to. You know what I mean? Because it's such a toxic and like like it's just not the best environment to be in all the time. It's like I have to remind myself every day what I'm doing it for, the people that I'm doing it for, the people who have helped me get here. So it's like when you start going down that list and you start like rattling off like, wow, this is, you know, I mean, exponential. You're like, am I ever going to be able to actually like keep up with this or make up, you know what I mean? You know, repay this. Am I ever going to actually be able to pay this forward? Like all the help that I've received to get here. And then I just realized the only way that I can do that is by being, you know, the best version of me every day and like trying to exhibit like better habits in my life. And that's the only, you know, that's probably the only thing that I can say is just affirmation and reflection on a daily basis, you know, taking that moment in the day instead of scrolling or doing whatever and just kind of idling and whatever, meditating or just acknowledging oneself. So, you know, that would probably be like the healthiest thing that I possibly could do.
Yeah, but that
for
is a
myself,
good
but,
healthy,
like,
that is something
like,
healthy.
yeah,
Not a lot of people
for the
like
most part.
even fully know how to like do affirmations and how like they actually can be
acknowledge
really
those
helpful.
things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, you know, you know,
You
I'm
gotta
glad
give yourself
that
a little bit of credit.
you know, credit where credit's due.
Come on, we just
Gotta
violated
work-
each other for our terrible life habits, so we might as well lift each other up at the end and just, you know, praise each other for the good ones that we
Well,
do practice.
we're not the best at praise here, so.
Hey, no, we're not, but that's why
We're
it
not the
works.
best
That's
here
why
at
this
praise,
works.
so. But you know, it is complimentary, and I do appreciate everyone joining us. So you know, let's
Yeah.
call it at that. You know, what I mean,
And
cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, you know.
Another episode in the books. And that was
Clipped.
great.
There it goes.
Thank you.
Bye.